Hi everybody, this is Dom. I wanted to do a podcast tonight, a special one, talking about on my latest adventure, when I was in North Carolina a few months ago, and we had a chance to go and visit or see, or whatever you want to call it, sightseeing the famous Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina. It totally mesmerized me because, I've been thinking about it for years. I'm a big UFO freak, as much as I'm a paranormal investigator. It's something that's always fascinated me. I saw the movie about a year ago, Alien Abduction, that was based from the area, the Brown Mountains in Blue Mountain area in North Carolina, near Boone and Morgantown, and I was fascinated. I'm like, okay, this is the number one UFO hotspot in the United States. There's also a lot of people saying that people disappear. Well, conjuncture with some people saying in abductions, absolutely no proof of that, but a lot of people disappear. First of all, it's so much a beautiful mountain region, and there's so much different roads, and that it's easy to get lost. So that's probably one of the major reasons why some people disappear. And also because it's so damn beautiful that once you go there, you don't want to leave. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful hidden gem in the United States. If you've never been in North Carolina, in the north part of North Carolina, this is absolutely stunning, and I mean stunning. And I absolutely wanted to see it. I saw the movie, and I heard about it, but I never watched any documentary about it. I never watched any pictures on Google or on Twitter, because I wanted to be surprised, and I wanted to not be influenced by what I think I'm going to see, because it's the same thing that when you go do a paranormal investigation, if you go to a location and everybody tells you, okay, now here's what happens in this house. You hear Bob, there's banging on the floor on the third floor, there's a dark shadow that you see in the basement, and the first thing you'll realize is that you're in the basement, and every single time, a car will pass by through a window or something, you'll see a dark shadow, and you'll be like, holy shit, I caught it, because your mind playing tricks on you, because you got expectations. That's the last thing you should do. You should go blind. This is what I believe in. And I think that through the years, with all the evidence and all the shit that I've seen and I've lived through, I think it's a pretty good way to think. And I'm not saying it's the only way to go at it, but to me, that's the way to do it. And the Brown Mountain Lights, I didn't want to see anything so that I would be like, oh my God, look at this. It is the Brown Mountain Lights, and finally it's just a plane flying by, or the moon, or stars, or whatever. So I had no fucking idea what I was looking for. And when I say I had no idea at all. No idea. So I had no precognitive nations. Oh, here's what I'm going to see. It's yellow, it's orange, it's white, or whatever. No, I want to go and be surprised if something. If I don't see anything, well, I don't see anything. And we were told that the hotspot to see it was from September and October, and we were there the last week of August. I'm like, wow, pretty close to the hotspot, we're like a week before. So chances are on our side, that maybe we'll see something. So we are, we get there. It's, I would say, we check in Boone, a Boone hotel we had at about 4, had a great supper with the kids, an old school restaurant in Boone. Very good food. Beautiful, beautiful town. If you've never been there, it's awesome. Daniel Boone's home is there, where he was born, and it's a very, very hidden gem, totally beautiful. Boone, North Carolina. So we went from Boone, and when you go and you get your map, black and white map of where the hot spots are to see the Brown Mountain Lights, it's through the, like a little road, and mile marker 301 and 310 are the hot spots. That's what it says. And another place near Morgantown. So we're like, okay, perfect. So we get there before dark. we finally found, 301, 310. We said, okay, perfect. So we're going to spend a few hours at 301, and then we're going to go and spend another few hours at 310 marker, like to clearings where you can see the mountains. So we get to 301, and we're standing there and waiting until it gets dark, and then a car gets there, with a boy and a girl, and they're inside the car. So my curiosity is like, have they ever seen it? Are they there for the lights or whatever? So I go and meet them and say, hey, are you here for the Brown Mountain Lights? And they're like, no, we're actually from here, but you're looking for the Brown Mountain Lights? I said, yes. He said, oh, that's not the good spot. That's one of the spots, but that's not the spot. The spot is on a road about 10 miles from here, near Morgantown. And that's the spot, that's where people go, and that's where you see them. So I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So and the guy goes like, okay, just follow me. So he hopped in his car, and I was just following him for a while. Then he told me, you keep going, it's about 5 miles to your left. So we found it, and we got there. I would say it was about maybe 8:39, maybe 9. It's full dark, and we're there. There's maybe two or three other cars, and I'm with my kids and a friend of mine, and we're very excited. Very excited. We're looking for the Brown Mountain Lights. Are they brown? Is the mountains are brown? What are they green? Are they yellow? What kind of light? Is it like when you use your laser grid, what kind of lights? Is it like UFO shape, star shape, whatever? I had no idea. All I knew that some people said, it was UFOs. Some people said, it was spirits, could be related to the paranormal. So the oldest sightings of the lights go back way before civilization, and I mean, not civilization, but way before airplanes and stuff like that. So we can debunk being the lights of the towns around it. Maybe some of the lights that we see are there are from the towns, the small towns surrounding the spot. But it goes back to the Native Americans way before we had electricity and stuff like that. So I'm like, wow, okay, good. So we're not talking about something that could be debunked as just 3 small towns, and then what you see, the reflection of the lights and the cars passing by or whatever. So that was cool, So I'm there, I'm looking, and it might be about 10 p.m. and we're there, and we haven't seen nothing yet. Clear blue sky, we're lucky, because if it's cloudy, won't see much, So it's clear sky. We see nothing. A lot of stars. See a few planes flying by, and I'm like, cool, So with the debunking, that's a plane, It's easy to see, It's blinking, and it goes north, south, east, west, whatever, but it goes in one direction. It doesn't move up north, east, west. It's easy to see a plane, unless you're blind. But I mean, seriously, it's easy to go like, shit, it's not planes. People don't, whatever it is, it's not. The lights are not. Oh, it was a plane, and we think it's the lights. It was easy to see. It's a freaking plane. So I'm like, okay, so we debunked it, because it's corridor for the Charlotte airport. So yeah, a few planes coming in. Cool. We saw maybe 2 planes later that night. So I would say we saw maybe 3 or 4 planes in the whole night. So that's about it. So keep looking, and then all of a sudden my youngest one looks at me and says, Daddy, those stars are weird. They keep changing shape and colors. I'm like, what? So with his finger, he was pointing at one, it looked like a star, and at first I was like, it's a star. And then I said, no, it just moves. And yeah, look, it's white, and now look, it's yellowish. And I'm like, holy shit, yeah, you're right. So, okay, it's maybe it's my eyes playing tricks on me, maybe not. So we start looking at that light that keeps moving. It would stay there for a minute, then it would move left, right, up, down. But the first thing that really caught my attention was it grew, it really grew in size. I would say maybe 50% bigger than it was. So it went from, if you put your middle finger and your thumb and you put them together, to, well, little bit more than that. So I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then it went back to if you put your pinky and your thumb together, smaller. So I'm like, wow, change shape. And then it kind of turns in a way that now it's not yellowish or white, but it's like red. Like not bright red, but red. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's weird. That's really weird. It's not a star. It's not a plane. It's not people playing with laser beams. It's not my eyes playing tricks on me. My two kids are seeing it. My friend Mike is seeing it. Two girls beside us, they're seeing it. There's another couple out there, they're seeing it too. So 8 people. So you got, 16 eyes looking at the same freaking thing, and we're like, wow, that's freaking cool. So, okay, we're looking at it, and after maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, it changes color, and it's turning around and everything. So I gotta pee, so I gotta go in the woods, maybe 50 feet from where I'm standing in the woods. So I go pee. And as I'm moving towards the woods, I notice that the light, that weird light, is kind of following me. Well, it's moving from left, but a little bit more than it did earlier. So I'm like, holy shit, maybe it's got, wow, this guy, what is he going to do? He's going to pee in the woods, So I'm like, okay, wow, that's pretty cool, it moved. But again, seriously, I'm thinking just my mind playing tricks on me, because, it moved, it seemed to move. Came back, from peeing in the wood. My kids say, hey, Daddy, he followed you, it went left, when you went in the woods. So I'm like, okay, do the same thing, go. So when he did, the light did the same thing, went west, it followed him. So we said, okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to go towards the road. So we go behind us, we walk towards the road, then we cross the road, and that light seems to move forward towards us. So at that point, my kids started being like, holy shit, And as that light that seemed to be coming closer to us suddenly, boom, disappeared. And 2 more lights about the same size, but one yellow and one, I don't remember the color, but it was another color. I think it was like purple. And reappeared not too far from where that light was. So now we got those 2 lights, and they're moving. And they're just moving slowly right and left. And they seem to be a little bit farther than the light that followed us. So we're looking at those lights, and all of a sudden the light that seemed to have followed us is now a little bit more to our left and reappeared. So now we got 3 lights. 3 of those lights. And then you got the stars. The stars are easy to see. They don't change shape, They're blinking sometimes, but, it's easy to see a star, So I'm like, okay, now there's 3 lights, and they really seem to be, I would say about the same shape, round, and also seem to be the same, way of moving. It seems like if it was ship, it would be the same kind of ship, but it's not a ship, it's light. And there's no sound, absolutely no sound at all. So we keep looking at it, and then we're like, wow, and then my mind is going over time, thinking, what the hell is that? And you're trying in your mind to make sense of it and go like, oh, it's probably just reflection. It could be just the stars, and now we're looking for something. So like paranoia, kind of like when you're in an empty building and you see something, anything seems like a shadow or a body or something. But now we're looking at something that moves in the sky, totally different ball game. And it changed shape. It moves west, east, north, south, change shape, and it changed color. And they disappear. So it's like, holy fuck, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen, So, and as I've said before, I've never been afraid of doing any paranormal investigation. Been spooked a few times, but I've never been scared. But I don't want to be taken, or I don't want to be abducted by aliens. So, this is a different game. I'm not saying I was afraid. What I'm saying is my mind is on hyperdrive. I'm like, my concentration and my heart is beating fast, and I'm like, holy shit. So now I have to just relax, unwind a little bit. So we went to take a little ride in the car, 10, 20 minutes, and then we came back. We bought Gatorade, drank a little bit Gatorade, a chocolate bar, just to try to, change our mind a little bit because, we're like over excited. So we come back and there's nothing, there's no lights. We don't see them right away. And as soon as we get out of the car, bam, two appear. I would say a red and a purple one, and they're there, they're not moving. So they're standing there and they're blinking, changing color, sometimes seems to turn around. And all of a sudden, the one that I think was the same one, seemed to reappear. And this time it's looking towards us. So it's for a few hours, that's what it did, appear, disappear, move left and right. And but no big forward movement towards us as before. But again, it's still mind-blowing. So all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, so whatever it is, if you can in any way, shape, or form talk to me, understand what I'm saying, come closer to me. So as I say that, for about 5-10 minutes, nothing happens. And all of a sudden, I go like, come on, move towards me. And it did. And it came, it's eye up in the sky. Of course, it's hard to gauge the distance, but it seemed to come closer to us. And at that point, it's 2:30 a.m. My kids are starting to go crazy. They're really scared. My friend Mike is like, holy shit, the guys beside us, they leave. The girls, they're already gone. So we're like, okay. So, and it kept moving towards us, and then it stopped, disappeared. And then I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird. So it reappeared again, farther up, about the same place it was before, like between the two mountains. Not too high. I would say just on top of the mountains. It didn't seem to be in the sky so much as being like just hovering over the mountain, which is pretty weird. So we're like, holy shit. So the kids were very scared. So we went back to the hotel. So the first thing I did when I went back to the hotel, I go on Google and I go Brown Mountain Lights, search, and the first picture that I see is a famous one in black and white, dating from probably the 50s, and it's the same shaped light, white, the same thing that we saw, the same thing. I expected something like, holy cow, like weird shape or whatever. No, it's just a white light or yellow or green or purplish or whatever, but it was the same fucking thing. And then I kept looking at pictures and I saw 2, 3, sometimes 20 of them, but it was the same thing. And I read the description of people that saw it, and it was almost the same thing, almost as if they knew what we're thinking and stuff like that. So it really blew my mind. And everybody listening right now, I'm telling you, if you've been there, if you know anybody who've been there, who studied it, who've been there more than once, who've been there once or whatever, I want you to get in contact with me on Twitter at DomGhosthunter or on my Facebook page, DomGhosthunter Paranormal, and just talk to me. I want to get more information because I'm going back soon, probably bring my team, and I want to do more research. I want to spend a week, maybe a full week there, and talk to people in the region, try to see the lights from as many different angles as I can, try to get I have my cell phone, so everything I film, we see absolutely nothing. I want to get, something where I could, document what we see, and I want more information. I know, a NASA scientist I've tried to debunk it and nobody has yet found out what it is. So I'm not saying I'm going to find it. I just want to see more, and I want to know more, and something's calling me back there, So anybody, if you've heard people, if you have been there, if you've heard stories of people who have been there, talk to me, reach out to me on Twitter and Facebook, and, we could do podcasts together. We can talk about it, but I want people to know that the Brown Mountain Lights are real. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it's paranormal. I'm not saying it's UFOs. All I'm saying is that I saw it with my own eyes. My 2 kids saw it. My friend saw it. 4 people beside it saw it. I talked to people around there. They said they all saw it, and it's weird. It's never exactly the same thing. The numbers change, the color change. The pattern is probably almost always the same, but it's very, very, very weird and very interesting because, in the modern era where everything is known, just a click of a button, every theory, everything has been proven by scientists. Oh, this is why the Bermuda Triangle, we can explain it now. It's because of whatever. But this is still a mystery. In 2017, we're living in a time where mysteries are almost all gone, but we have one in North Carolina. I've noticed it. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and I'm totally in love with the area, and I want to know more. So anybody listen to the podcast, share it with people, share it. It will be on my YouTube channel. Talk to me. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you know people. They can reach out to me on Twitter at DomGhosthunter, DomGhosthunter Paranormal on Facebook. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you and try to shed some lights on the Brown Mountain Lights, no pun intended. So it's all for tonight. I was happy to do another podcast. It's been a long time, and I got a few more coming up. So stay tuned. And, like I said, if you know anything about the Brown Mountain Lights, hit me up. Have a good night, everybody.